Hey guys, so in this video, I just want to show you how to graph polar equations using your TI-83 or TI-84 calculator. All right, so if you take a look at the notes that I have, example 1, we are graphing the equation r is equal to -6 cosine of theta. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by changing the mode on my calculator to put it into both polar and degree mode. So I'm going to hit my mode button right here. Yeah, that's my mode button. And then I'm going to make sure it is in degree mode. All right, so you'll see right here, we have degree mode. And then I'm also going to put it into polar mode. Depending on what model calculator you're using, it might not have the whole word polar written out. It might just say POL, all right, depending on if you have the 83 or the 84, but same thing. So degree mode and polar mode. All right, from there, I'm going to go to my y equals, and you just need to put in your equation, right? And notice that when you're in polar mode, instead of y1, y2, y3, these have changed to r1, r2, r3. All right, so the first equation in the examples is -6 cosine of theta, right? And another cool thing is that once you switch your calculator into polar mode, your regular X button that you normally use is a theta button in polar mode. Okay. All right, then we need to set our window. Okay, so you can either go in and just go to your window and try and set it manually, or the easy way to do it is just go to zoom, and then notice number 6 here is zoom standard. That's your standard window. So I'm just going to hit zoom 6 to go to my standard window. And once you do that, if you don't feel like you have a good view of your graph, you can always go back in and adjust it manually. So say, for example, I said, oh, my graph's a little small here. I want to make it a little bigger. I could maybe go in and say, well, instead of going to -10, let's just go to -8, go to +8. Let's do -8 to 8 on the y's as well. And you could go in a little bit more. So if you ever feel like you need to adjust the window beyond just the standard window, you can just go in and adjust that by hand. But if you feel like it's pretty good, then you're fine. Okay, so you can see right here now that we have this nice little circle. Okay, now in order to actually graph this, we'll want to look at our table. So right now you'll notice that we have thetas just going by ones. So if I look at my little table over here, I can see 0 degrees, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. But I don't want to graph 360 different points. That's a little bit excessive maybe. So what I'm going to do to make this easier on myself is I'm going to hit second window to go to my table set. And I'm going to say start at 0, but count by 15s, okay? The reason I'm doing 15s is because if you think about your unit circle, you have your 0 degrees, 30 degrees, 45 degrees, 60 degrees, 90 degrees, and so on. So if we want to hit all of those angles, then these well, the largest number, I guess I should say, that we can count by and still hit all of those angles would be 15 degrees. Now we are going to get a few extra angles that we don't really want, but we'll be able to get mostly what we want to use here. So go back, so second graph to go to my table, and I have my calculator set up so I can see both my graph and my table side by side. Yours might just be one or the other. It just depends on your calculator settings. Second graph to get to my table. And then I can see my table over here. So we're just going to write down these points. Okay, so if you pull up the notes handout that I gave you guys, then I just want you to jot down all of the angles that are on your unit circle. So basically we'd have 0, -6. We'd have 30, -5.2, 45, -4.2. 60, -3, and so on. So go ahead and fill out that table, and then we'll continue on and look at how to actually plot these points in the next video.